if you're new to safety, if you're the new safety manager, maybe you recently got promoted, maybe you used to work in a different department, or you were hired for a different job, but guess what? Now you're the safety manager. There's one question that always bounces around in your mind. Are you ready for it? I'm going to read your mind. What am I missing? What am I missing? That's the question that so many new safety managers and people that are new to the safety department ask themselves. You see, you don't know what you don't know. And if you're new to the job, if you're new to the role, you feel like you're missing something. Well, in this episode, I'm going to talk about the 5 things, 5 mistakes that new safety managers make. And more importantly, we're going to talk about how to avoid them so you don't make the same mistakes. Let's jump in. Well, hey, friend, David Sawyer here. I'm your safety coach. I am a safety coach, and I help new managers go from feeling overwhelmed by compliance and regulations and requirements to feeling OSHA ready. So they're calm, they're clear, and they're confident, and they have peace of mind about their safety program. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, check out my free workshop. It's called Stress-Free Safety. If you go to my website, helpwithosha.com, you will find a link and you can watch my free workshop. While you're there, go ahead and download a free OSHA audit checklist. This checklist pairs perfectly with the workshop because in the checklist, I explain what you need to have in order to be prepared for an unexpected OSHA visit. It is not just a PDF. It's not just a checklist. It's not something you can get off ChatGPT. It's not something you can just have. This is actually a video that I walk you through how to prepare your team for an unexpected OSHA audit. So we talk about what you need to have in place in terms of documents. We talk about the framework that OSHA uses when they do an inspection. And probably the most important thing, like where the rubber meets the road, is we actually talk about how to prepare your team, your receptionist, your HR manager, your production managers. What do you do if OSHA shows up and knocks on the door? What is the game plan? So it's like a playbook, and this checklist is free. Go to my website, helpwithosha.com. It's a wonderful place to start getting prepared for an OSHA inspection. Now, in this episode, I want to talk about the 5 mistakes that new safety managers make. And I want to start off by telling you a story. This is a story of a manager that I came in contact with. Her name was Brenda, and Brenda was an HR manager. She was newly hired. She got brought into the organization as an HR manager, and they needed her. They needed some help with HR. They needed some help with hiring. They had high turnover. So the company really, they dumped a lot on her plate right off the bat as an HR manager. And then they had an OSHA audit. And OSHA showed up, and Brenda found out that she was also in charge of safety. Like literally the day of, they were like, hey, can you walk around with the OSHA inspector? You know, we got production managers that are busy. The safety coordinator works in the HR department, and she's a little bit older. She's not here today. She's at a doctor's appointment. So we need you to walk around with the OSHA compliance officer. And so Brenda proceeded to walk around. And man, was she overwhelmed. She didn't know what they needed. She didn't know what they had. She didn't know the system they were using. And the compliance officer, the OSHA man, he walked in based on a complaint from an employee. Now, she did know that. She knew employees. So she knew which department it was in. And as they walked the facility, they went through the plant, the inspector found all kinds of issues. They found hazards that they could pinpoint and find a problem with and actually attach a citation to. But they also found a lack of training, a lack of programs, They lacked a lot of things. And Brenda didn't know what she didn't know. And she came away from that meeting just completely underwater. The stress level was through the roof. And she was just like, I don't even know where to turn. Well, lucky for her, she turned to me. And it's not because I have all the answers, it's just because I've been there before. I've been there before. And if you've ever met somebody that's been where you're going, it's like, oh, they know this. They know what to do, right? Just as a side note, a few years ago, my family, I took my wife, and my 4 kids went to Disney World. I had never been to Disney World. And I knew there was all kinds of vacation planners, and there was all kinds of information online. There's all kinds of information about Disney World. But I reached out to a friend that goes to Disney World every year. And I said, here's my situation. I got 4 kids. My daughter loves princesses. My older son really isn't that much into Disney. How do I plan a family vacation that's perfect? And he helped me because he had been there before. He said, this is what you need to do. He told me exactly what to do for my little girl. He told me what to do to make it interesting for my older son. He told me how to actually enjoy the parks instead of get stressed out. This guy gave me a wealth of information. Now, he didn't tell me everything about every ride. He didn't tell me everything about every attraction, but he told me what I needed to know because he had been there before. And that's what I did for Brenda. I don't know everything about OSHA, right? I've been doing safety training. I've been doing consulting. I've been doing coaching now for over 15 years, darn near close to 20 years. And what I know is I've been through some OSHA inspections, and I know what they're looking for, and I know how to handle it. Brenda didn't know that. I helped her out with the informal conference. We ended up putting a program in place where they had consistent training. They had written programs. They had inspections. And it was something that it didn't happen overnight, but it happened a lot faster when she had a clear roadmap to get there. And so let's talk about some of the things you need to have on your roadmap. One of the first mistakes that new managers make is they come into the position and they realize that they have training. They have safety training. Check. But it doesn't line up with their programs, and the training sucks, to be completely honest. So when you have training, you are checking the box. You go, yes, we do safety training. We have a system. We have an LMS system, right? Those are the magic 3-letter words that I always hear. We have an LMS system. What does LMS stand for? A learning management system. This is basically an online training program that meets the compliance requirements. It helps you document training. Little secret between me and you, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Because just because it meets the compliance doesn't mean it fits your company. Training must fit your company. It can be used as supplemental. It can be used to help. But the training should be specific to your company. So I would encourage you, if you are a safety manager and you're in charge of training, you can use videos, you can use online training services, but you need to make sure that you have customized it to fit what your employees actually face. And where that goes is one step further. That goes into buy-in. Your employees, your managers, your leadership, the guy walking in off the street and it's his first day on the job, they need to buy in to the safety training. They need to see themselves in the training and go, hey, they're talking about forklifts. I drive forklifts. That resonates with me. I can connect with that. I understand what's required. So we are setting a clear expectation. These are the expectations for the company, and that's what we're going to do. So training has to have buy-in, and it has to actually fit the company. It can't just be, check, we did the training. So that's the first thing. Don't assume just because you got an LMS system, you got training in place. It could be completely worthless. could be completely worthless. All right. The next thing is new safety managers. Sometimes they get lulled into this false idea that training and safety is a one-time event. It is not a one-time event. It is a consistent pattern. It is a habit. It is a culture. So if you have safety designed to be 1 day a year training, not good enough. It can't just be 1 day a year. It can't just be. Safety is not a seminar. It's a system. It has to be a system where you are building in a system so that you build a culture so that you have buy-in from your employees and your managers at every single level. So don't fall into the illusion that safety is a one-time thing, right? When I go into a company and I ask, have your employees been trained on lockout tagout? And the manager says, "Oh, well, these aren't authorized people. These are just regular employees on the floor. We cover that during orientation." Well, orientation was 4 years ago. You covered it at a one-time event. There needs to be a systematic approach so you're getting it consistently. So build a culture, not a one-time event. Not a one-time event. That wears off really quick. The third thing that we're going to talk about, the mistake new safety managers make, ignoring supervisors. Ignoring supervisors. Your supervisors are your advocates. They're your helpers. They're your people. And I would go so far and include maintenance, QA, HR, production. Make sure that you are not ignoring your managers and your supervisors. Your supervisors are a wealth of knowledge. Ask them questions and expect. Remember, expectations. Expect them to help you carry the load. When you say, going back to lockout, tagout for a minute, if you say, hey, we are going to provide lockout, tagout, locks and tags, your manager is going to make sure you get a lock and tag. And then you go out and there's no locks and tags on the floor for anybody, hold the manager accountable. This is part of your job. I could get into a whole other side conversation about incentive programs, but safety needs to be part of everybody's job. It's not just your job as a safety manager. If it's one person's job, it ain't going to work. Yes, you can coordinate it. You can plan it, you can organize it, but it has to be spread out so that there's accountability for each department and every supervisor. The mistake new safety managers make is they say, oh, well, I don't want to put that on the managers. They're busy. I don't want to put that on the supervisors. They got enough to worry about. Safety is the one thing they have to worry about with their team. It's required. If I've got somebody that works in a warehouse and they have 15 electric pallet jacks zipping around, and we say, you know what? They're going fast. They're going too fast. But I'm not gonna, put that on the supervisor. I mean, I'll go in there and I'll stand there and I'll wear my red safety helmet and I'll police these people. That's a waste of time. Is it going to be effective that day? Yes. But the minute you get called away to do something else, it's going to go right back to how it was. You have to have your supervisors owning the program just like you're owning the program. Don't ignore your supervisors. All right. The fourth one, falling into the trap of thinking or being told, we've never had a problem. We've never had a problem. Have you ever had an OSHA inspection? Nah, we've never had an OSHA inspection. Have you ever had a fire here? Nah, we've never had a fire here. Have you ever had a serious accident? Nah, we've never had a serious accident. Those are a mindset that gets people hurt. You don't want to be reactive when something goes wrong. When OSHA shows up, and it's not if, it's when, they will come. And when they show up, you don't want to go, oh man, we've never had an OSHA inspection, so we didn't have any programs or any training or anything ready. I wasn't prepared. It's not an excuse. You got to be prepared for this stuff, man. So make sure that you're not thinking we've never had a problem. We've never had a problem. one of the best ways to snap people out of this way of thinking is to simulate a problem. The reason fire drills, real fire drills, are effective is when people don't know they're coming. If you have a chemical release drill, people don't know they're coming. If you have a severe accident, people don't know they're coming. You want to make sure that you prepare your team so that they're not just reacting, but you're actually planning ahead and being proactive. Being proactive makes all the difference in the world. So don't fall into the trap of we've never had a problem. I can tell you, when I was hired for my very first safety manager job, I was hired as a safety manager for a food processing company. I came in, and when I asked the question during the interview, I asked the question, have you ever had a safety manager? And they said, no. We've never had a problem until a few months ago we had a very serious accident. Well, that's a problem. Unfortunately, that's why they hired me. It wasn't to be proactive. It was reacting to an accident. Now, I'm glad they hired me. I did a lot of good work for them, and I know that, I helped prevent a lot of accidents, right? It was a good thing to hire somebody, but I wish it hadn't been reactive. I wish I'd been hired a year before that, and then the guy wouldn't have got hurt. If I could have waved that magic wand. So don't fall into that way of thinking of we've never had a problem. Upper management has that kind of blinder on where, we haven't had a recordable in a year. Nothing's going to go wrong. You got to stay focused. It only takes one serious accident to change everything. Now, the fifth one and the final one. Safety managers make the mistake of doing it alone. Going it alone. Thinking I'm professional, I'm accountable, I'm responsible. They hired me for a reason. I can handle this all by myself. You can handle it all by yourself, but you're going to stress yourself out. You need support. That's something that I offer my clients. When I come with my clients, I come in with my stress-free safety program, and I provide ongoing support. So they have an expert in their corner that they can reach out and they can call on. And just like with Disney World, right? I don't know everything, but I've been there, and I can help guide you, and I can get you from being overwhelmed to OSHA ready. I can take you from feeling stressed out and sleepless and confused and wondering where to go next. And we can say, look, let me put a roadmap in place. Let's put a plan of action. So every week you have clear objectives. And over the course of a few months, you're going to have a system, not something you're reacting to, but an actual system that works. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, watch my stress-free safety workshop. And when you watch the workshop, after you've watched the workshop, you can book a call with me, and I'll get on the phone with you, and we will walk through the specifics of your situation. And if it's a good fit, we'll work together. If it's not, that's okay too. At least you will get some clarity on what to do next, right? Even if you go, you know what, David? You know what? I don't think it's for me. That's fine. At least you get the next step of what to do. So watch my stress-free safety workshop, book a call, and let's talk through what your next steps are. On that note, until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.